Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, September 12th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, we are looking at OPEN, and just the beast move continues to bring things back a little bit. If you watch past videos, talked about how, yeah, this was not the most ideal situation, but from the bigger picture, you still had to give the advantage to the bulls. And now I'm not saying that I, foresaw this, coming or anything like that, but overall, just a huge move back in the upwards direction. And one of those things where always good when all lines have to be deleted out because you kind of just got to start afresh. So on that note, with the big movement here, we'll start afresh with some new technical levels. So moving forward, the ideal level of support, when you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute, let's try this. There we go. What would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? That would be if the price could stay above 915. With that said, if the price falls below 915, that doesn't mean the chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But anything staying above 915 would be a very, very impressive sign of strength. Taking a step back, looking at things from the bigger picture point of view, that's where the purple line here comes into play, the 50-period simple moving average. Keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line's going to move itself higher and higher and basically be a trend line that draws itself for you. So as long as the price stays above the trend line, then overall, the bulls are still in full health. So like I said, assuming you care about the big picture, the easiest way to really kind of just gauge the health of the current movement is, again, as long as the price stays above that purple line, the bulls are in full health. And then in terms of areas of resistance, for this, going to have to go to the daily time frame. I think even back further. Okay, yeah, wow. All right, let's go to the weekly time frame. Wow, even further. Holy, all right, there we go. So weekly means each one of these represents an entire week's worth of time. So we're having to go back, literally years now to figure out where the next potential battleground or resistance is. And that will be right up here around $11.50. And we're going back to 2022 to find that area of potential resistance. So yes, certainly multi-year highs at this point. So we'll see if the momentum continues on Friday. Next one here, NXTT. Very nice move today as things came back to life again. And now we're looking at a quality pattern here. So let's get this pattern mapped out. So top part of the pattern we have right here. Bottom part of the pattern right there. Let's change that to green for support. And then just make sure the pattern's easier to see. Let's keep it all one color. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move right here. This is the cleanest of patterns, but if I put the golf hole down here, hopefully you can kind of, let me connect this. You can see eventually basically a pennant-like pattern. Now, just because something's bullish does not mean for sure, guaranteed, it's going to go upwards. But is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the thing consolidates out and then breaks up through there, that break right there could create upside buying pressure? Again, that is a valid conclusion to throw out there. So guaranteed, no, but a reasonable question to throw out there as a possibility, absolutely. So if you like bull pennants, if you like penny stocks, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, WLDS. Talked about this in yesterday's video. Crazy movement. And overall, things are still basically stuck in the range that they're in. I'm going to make it a little bit of adjustment now that we have more data, as it seems to be the more accurate area of resistance is right up here at the $10 mark. If you look going back to yesterday, you can see right there is basically $10 is where it got rejected. And then today right there, $10 was rejected. So moving forward right there, $10 is going to be that main battleground. On the flip side of things, the price did a good job of not only respecting that lower part of the sideways channel here at 460, but didn't even test it. Lowest it got today was right there. So from that angle, did a good job. Now today individually, I realized there was quite a bit that happened, right? I mean, the price came up, then it came all the way down here, and now it's recovering back up here. So today, sure, the price movement, there was a lot of bit of up and down. However, from the bigger picture, that's where I say nothing really happened because the price is now stuck in potentially this couple day channel here that we'll see how long into the future it goes in terms of being stuck between the $10 mark and then the $4.60 mark. Now, if you're a scalper, then yeah, if it just bounces and chops back and forth, then if you like, being a range trader, there's a lot of opportunity there. But from an overarching standpoint, as of now, the price is apparently stuck between these two key areas. Next one here, TSLL. Very, very impressive movement. Just to kind of give context, we had that bigger move up, and then for a while, it's just been consolidating around. And I'm just doing this very crudely, but just to illustrate, there is this resistance line, and then today got the break, and then very, very nice follow through up through that area of resistance. So moving forward, talked about this in a previous chart. That purple line there, that 50-period moving average, that keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So from the overarching standpoint, as long as price does remain above that purple line, the bulls are in full control. So just keep an eye on that dynamic from a, like I said, bigger picture standpoint. And then in terms of next potential area, am I going to have to, okay, wow. All right, let's go to the daily time. There we go. So then the next key area of resistance. So again, we're on the daily time frame, meaning now each one of these represents a day. Earlier, it was each one of these was an entire week. This one is just an entire day. But next key area of resistance, watch now, going to be right there at $14.95, which is coming from right there, and then a couple instances right there. And then if the price can push up through there, that's where you'd want to turn your attention to that 200-day simple moving average, that pink line, right now valued at, we'll call it $15.85. But anyway, look at it. Very, very impressive movement today. Next one, AIRE, and we have ourselves another nice little pattern here. So let's get this drawn into play. So there's our resistance part. There's the support part. And then just to make sure everybody can see it, let's keep it the same color. So resistance, support, big move up right here. Golf hole down here. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So this one, I know the first bull pennant was on a penny stock. So I feel like, no, I prefer to stay not down in the pennies. But I do still like kind of lower price stocks. Well, here you go. One right around the $1.50 mark, but a bull pennant. So if you like bull pennants, here you go. Real quick, want to take a break and help you solve a very common problem out there that maybe you're suffering under, and that is you would like to be a day trader, day trader being defined as having unlimited day trades every single day, but you can't because of the pattern day trading rule. Well, if that describes your situation, or maybe you're just looking for a market that moves even better than penny stocks and low floats and small caps, then this is something that I would say to give some consideration. It is what I've been doing, so I put my money where my mouth is. But I can also understand if all this seems a little too good to be true. That is why I would say, hey, come check out my live stream. Start every day at 11 a.m. Eastern. And come watch this with your very own eyes. Ask me any sort of questions, because I totally get, wait a second, for a very small amount of money, I can gain a bunch of buying power and then have no pattern day trader rule and trade a market that moves even better than small caps. Yes, you can. But fully understand if you think there's some sort of catch or it's too good to be true. So that's why I'm saying come swing by the live stream and ask me some questions. Next one here, PFSA. And again, in the spirit of respecting your time, I'm going to go through this one very quickly because you've already heard me talk about this pattern a couple times already. So we have, and I'm going to actually just use the 200-period moving average as the lower part of the pattern here. So I'll just extend that out to kind of just mimic that, change that to green. And then let's just map out the pattern here, same color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the nice upwards move right here. We have the golf hole down here. And there we are looking at another bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, you like penny stocks, here you go. Next one here, BITF. And here we have an example of a bull pennant that I drew in yesterday's video just very quickly. And then you can see, got the nice breakout from there. And then you know what? We have ourselves another kind of a bull flag. But what's interesting about this situation is that as of now, as I speak, this has already been broken, which prompts a whole new question and an exciting question. And that is this the start of something even bigger? Now think about that question. It makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile is even happening. Because you can't say, is this the start of something bigger? And you're like, well, is what the start of something bigger? Nothing's even begun. Well, here we have that. It's already begun. It's already broken out of this bull pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. So now we do get to ask ourselves the question, is there another round of momentum coming? Because you got the bull flag today. You got the breakout of the bull flag. So is this the leading indicator of more upside momentum to come on Friday? We'll see what happens. Next one here, WBD. And this was pretty, well, not totally quiet. You can see the price was already creeping up a little bit. But then, yes, the news was out. The volume came pouring in. And now we have ourselves a very interesting situation here moving forward. So key area from a resistance standpoint seems to be right up. There we go. There we go. All right. I could not move that red line for a moment, but I just had to delete it out. Anyways, we have our key area of resistance right here now at $16.55. And then we have a very near-term area of support right here at the bottom of this range at, we'll call it $15.75. And then we have, I'm not going to call it any sort of pattern per se. I suppose maybe you could call this some sort of bull flag. But the point is, the psychology is there. And what is this psychology? Well, the fact that there is just this huge increase in momentum, and now it's consolidating out tight little range. So the question becomes, is this tight little range going to produce another move in the upwards direction. We'll see what happens with it, but definitely some very explosive movement this afternoon. Definitely a very interesting pattern, so we'll see how this closes out the week on Friday. Next one here, NVDA. A little bit of a disappointing day if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes from that angle. Yeah, very disappointing because the price dropped down from there. But overall, nothing really happened, and that goes to the whole idea that I talked about on a previous one about, well, what's going on from just more so a bigger picture standpoint. And now it does seem that NVIDIA has entered into officially kind of the sideways channel pattern. Top of it right up there around 179.30, give or take. I realize the price went a little bit above it there, but that didn't last very long. And then the bottom of the channel in terms of the support seems to definitely be down here right around the 176 mark. So essentially, again, broadly speaking, past couple of days, NVIDIA has just chopped back and forth within the channel pattern. So I don't say that in a bad way. I don't necessarily say it in a good way either, but it's just a very neutral situation. But you do have to still lean on the side of bullishness, even if it's neutral, because this quote-unquote neutral action is still happening in an overall uptrend. And you can see the uptrend via that purple line right there, that 50-period moving average, which is moving upwards. And as time plays out, will continue to move upwards. So yes, the past couple of days have technically been neutral, but you still got to give the edge to the bulls because it's happening, neutral is happening in an overall bullish environment. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched the past videos, because if you have, you know that I've been talking quite a bit about how the price has just been stuck in this sideways pattern, but today was finally the day where it came out, got a high volume break of that level, and then it's just been grinding and grinding ever since there. So big significant move there from a technical standpoint. Again, the price just breaking up through that level. So that's where the first key update comes into play. When levels of resistance are broken and close above, they tend to act as support. And I am going to go ahead and just adjust this area up here a little bit higher, and we'll call that new ideal level of support at 358.50. I mean, if the price can stay above there, that would by far be the best case scenario. However, from the overarching standpoint, as I've talked about, that 50-period simple moving average, as that line moves higher and higher, then from an overall kind of health perspective, as long as the price is above that purple line, then the price is still fully, healthy from the bullish standpoint. In terms of areas of resistance, I think we're going to have to go to the daily time frame here. There we go. So now, again, each one of these represents a day. Ooh, I don't know. Are we above there or not? I can't quite tell. Let's see. Oh, we are right at that area. So I'm looking back here, so we'll call it 368. But looking back here through the history, you can see right there, and this is from back in early June. That's where the price struggled, and right now the price is right at that area. So that'll be the big question mark headed into Friday. Can the price break back above these multi-month highs, like I said, last seen here in either late May or early June? But that'll be the big dynamic right now. Can the price push through it? Beautiful day today, big breakout, big volume. Will it continue into Friday and then next week? We'll see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you are somebody that is very annoyed by and struggling because of that pattern day trading rule and you want to kick it to a curb, then definitely give what I've been doing a try. Very little capital is needed. You have no pattern day trading rule. You have a market that moves very, very nicely. And again, if you are a little skeptical, I understand. Come swing by the live stream, so make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be reminded of when I do go live. And like I said, I do start at 11 a.m. Eastern and I go for a few hours. But come check it out with your very own eyes. And by all means, ask me any questions if you do have any. So hopefully I'll see you on the live stream. So thanks for watching. Take care. Hit that like button. And like I said, hopefully I'll see you on the live stream.